November 23rd, 2024. It's Saturday. It's 11:25 in the morning. Well, it's almost afternoon. I really slept in. Yeah, we're gonna run now.
Welcome back, guys. I'm your trainer, Tommy Rivs. We are here right outside the Royal Palace in the ancient city of Fez in the country of Morocco. Today we have workout number 24. We're going to start out with a nice, easy 2-minute warm-up walk. I'll tell you what we have in store after that, and then we'll continue. Let's do it, guys. Nice and easy. As I mentioned, right outside the Royal Palace. Fez, as you remember, in the very last workout that we did down through the Medina, through the 10,000 different streets that intertwine, creating this incredibly vibrant marketplace, is one of the oldest cities here in the region. That Medina was set up on the two sides of the Fez River, which comes in and separates. It runs from west to east. The city was set up in the 8th century, the late 700s. This became a refuge for people fleeing persecution in the Iberian Peninsula. So whether those were Jews, or whether those were Muslims, or other people from within the region, they came together and lived peacefully in that city. This originally was a city of the Berber people, or the Amazajan people, the people native to this area up into the Atlas Mountains. The Arabs came in, and there was also the influx of the Jews, so that combination of people has created an incredibly diverse set of cultures, different languages, different belief systems, also people with all different looks. Remember, as the people fled down from the Iberian Peninsula, the Iberian Peninsula was a combination of people from all over Europe.
Incline 2 at all times.
Helped spread out all over Europe. There were Visigoths, which were Germanic tribes. The Romans came in. The Romans spoke Latin. Latin eventually turned into French, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, Romanesque, all these different languages, people coming from all different regions of the empire. That continued on as there were crusades and military conquest by the Moors. People mixed, cultures people who had undergone injustices in the past under the previous two regimes to be able to come forth and tell their story, for people to be able to confess and apologize, for people to receive reparations, whether they were financial or otherwise, for the abuses that had taken place under the previous two regimes without potential punishment or being put in prison for those crimes. So what that did is it allowed people to be heard and tell their story, but didn't impose the risk of any judicial punishment on the people. This is a really important component for the people to be able to move past what took place and heal as a society. All of this took place within the first few years. Because of that, the view of the current king is very different than the way that people viewed the previous king. So rather than fearing him the way that they had, they actually have a love and a respect for the king. So there's a strong sense of nationalism. He's done a really good job of expanding into a modern societal framework while maintaining those roots, those deep roots, which began in the Islamic world and here in these specific regions. So Morocco has essentially led the way in the Islamic world of showing how these new concepts, modern concepts, can be introduced within that Orthodox framework. So there's a huge sense of pride for the people in this area because the princess married to King Mohammed VI actually comes from Fez. So the demonym that's used to describe somebody from Fez is called Spasi. So the people here Spasi artwork, anybody that comes from this region is Spasi. That literally means from Fez. There's a huge sense of pride for the people from Fez as people who are more refined, more educated, more spiritual. It's always been intellectual, political hub. So we're going to work our way down. And what we're working our way through, we're going to work around the royal gardens, but then within the royal gardens is an area that is the ancient Jewish cemetery. So one of the areas that we worked through as we were running in that area was the Jewish area. This is known the same as it was in Shefshawan, that region where the Jewish paint known as Melech. Melech is in reference to the salt that they used to use in trade. So this was a trade name in reference to that specific trade. So this area up and around the garden is an ancient Jewish cemetery. Remember, in the 1400s, this was an area, a place of refuge for the Jewish people who were persecuted during the Crusades in the Iberian Peninsula. They could come down across the Mediterranean and take refuge here in Morocco among the Arabs. There's a lot of similarities between the Islamic traditions and the Jewish traditions. These are both traditions which originate from the prophet Abraham. So the prophet Abraham, the Old Testament prophet, he's revered in Christianity, Judaism, and in Islam because he essentially was the beginning of multiple nations. He had two sons. One of the sons was named Isaac, the other son was named Ishmael. The descendants of the early Muslim world were descendants of Ishmael. The descendants of the tribe of Judah, or the Jewish people, were descendants of Isaac. So these two brothers became the patriarchs, the first fathers of two entire nations. So because of that, there's huge overlap in the different belief systems. There's huge overlap in the symbolism that we see in the geometry. Remember the 8-sided star that we saw when we were in Shefshawan? This is known within Judaism as the seal or the shield of Melchizedek. In the Islamic world, it's known as the seal or the shield of Solomon. Solomon was the king in the Old Testament. He was the father of David. The 6-sided star that we see is known as the Star of David. All of this has incredibly important significance for the people when they lived in a time and a tradition where it was forbidden to use representation of living things. So geometry, color, all of these shapes have important symbolism. All of this was put in place because these new religions, these monotheistic religions, these beliefs in one God, were different than pagan religions or polytheistic religions that existed at the time where they worshiped idols or they worshiped multiple gods. So very strict laws were put in place to push away these ideas of idolatry or idol worship. All right, guys, so we're working our way down. We're going to come up around the gardens and then work back towards the palace. We've got 15 minutes into this thing. We've got just 5 more minutes. We'll continue nice and easy, maintaining that rhythm. Make sure you find that rhythm with your breathing, your arms, and your legs. We'll continue to move. Throughout this entire country, there's murals, there's paintings, there's portraits of the king, King Mohammed VI. He's relatively young, so he's taken huge interest in being involved in pop culture. Some of the runners in the country, the long-distance runners, are some of the best runners in the world. They come from Morocco. The combination of Arab people, Berber people, as well as the French influence that creates this perfect atmosphere of individuals, like I mentioned in our very last workout, as we were going through the Medina. It creates this combination of cultures, people who use their body for their livelihood. It develops this very strong, powerful combination of systems and structures, exactly what we're doing right now. And then they're introduced into a setting where its arms reach into the modern competitive athletic world, and people are allowed to use those incredible talents that they've developed because of their rugged lifestyles to compete. So it's the same thing you see in East Africa with the Kenyans and the Ethiopians, the farmers, or the people who work running long distances from the time their children to school. You find the same thing in the Atlas Mountains just south of us. These Atlas Mountains are incredibly rugged mountains. The people there, their main mode of transportation is on foot. So some of the greatest athletes in different athletic events held here in Morocco, which are revered around the entire world as incredibly difficult, challenging events. The Moroccans always come through as some of the top athletes. One of the races that takes place down in the Sahara is known as Marathon des Sables. That's French for the Marathon of the Sand. It's a multi-day stage race that runs through the Sahara Desert. There's a team of brothers from the Atlas Mountains to the south. Their last name is Ansal. That team of brothers have collectively won that race a total of 12 different times. They're very, very well respected in this country because of that accomplishment. It's a race where people come from all over the world and they literally cross 250 kilometers of desert on foot. These two brothers, they've grown up within the lifestyle of the Berber people, the Imad-Dajen people, as they like to be known as, the free people, walking huge distances through those rugged mountains. One of these brothers, his name is Muhammad, he came to the United States and he raced one of the most difficult races in the U.S. It's known as the Badwater 135. It's a 135-mile run through Death Valley. He came a couple of years ago to compete because he himself had won the Marathon des Sables 5 or 6 different times. So he came to see what he could do in this desert in the United States, running through Death Valley. Guys, we've got about 30 more seconds and we're going to go into a 1-minute cool down. We're going to work our way down into the Royal Gardens again. We'll do that cool down in there, that recovery rather, allowing our bodies to cool down before we go into our last 5 minutes of running. We've got 10 more seconds, guys. Stay strong. We're going to loop over this way. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. All right, 1 minute. 1 minute, as easy as we need, recovering as much as possible. We're going to work back down through the gardens. As the layout of these gardens, the arches, the palms, all of this is remnants of different cultures, but expressed in this specifically Faustian framework. So the arches that we see, the round arches, are actually Roman arches. The Roman arches a lot of times are used to resemble the fronds that come from palm trees. So what it does is it represents an oasis in the desert. So you see the different Roman arches. You can also see the layout of the garden is similar to those that you find in southern Spain. So this style is Andalusian, so in reference to that empire down in Andalusia, southern Spain. Guys, we're going to begin again. We're going to go in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Nice and easy. 5 minutes of running. Hello. All right, guys. Here we go. 5 minutes. 5 easy minutes of running, and then we'll cool down, working back towards the palace. So we're going to cross over the road. We'll continue along the outer limits of the Royal Palace wall. All right, let's carefully navigate. Here we go. All right, right around 4 minutes left. We'll go out for a couple of minutes, and then we'll flip and we'll come back. Guys, so to continue that story, when Muhammad Al-Hansal came from the Atlas Mountains, multiple-time winner of Marathon des Sables, I got a phone call from somebody who was in charge of putting together his crew and his pacing team based in California. They explained to me that he was coming to the U.S. and they asked if I'd be interested to come and crew and pace him. I said, absolutely. So I flew out to Las Vegas, drove through the desert to Death Valley, and I got to spend the next 2 days with Muhammad, and we ran through the desert. The race starts at midnight, runs through the desert in Death Valley. We were able to talk the entire time. So this 135-mile race through the desert, I was able to learn so many things, which made the transition when I arrived here in Morocco so much easier. I already knew what to expect in a lot of different ways. I had an idea of the food. I had an idea of the different preferences that he had as we were running together. He ate bananas and dates and olives, green olives, almost the entire run. All right, guys, we're gonna come up and flip around these lemon trees, and then we'll work our way back. Here we go. Guys, we've got 2 minutes and 15 seconds left, and then we're going to work back, walking, cooling down towards the palace. So I thought it was so interesting. Dates. Dates are full of sugar, full of carbohydrates. It makes perfect sense. It's a naturally occurring sugar. It's one of the most important foods within Islamic culture. It's actually the first food that's consumed every night during the month of Ramadan. This entire month when the people fast from sun up to sundown. No food or water for that entire month. The first food that they eat is a date because there's the belief, the tradition that the Prophet Muhammad, when he ended fast, that was the first food that he consumed. So because the dates were the very first thing that Muhammad used to break his fast, that's what's used during the first meal in the evening during the entire month of Ramadan. It's an incredibly important piece of fruit. It's used here in the area throughout all of the Islamic world for that specific reason, as well as the fact that it's incredibly high in available sugars. So it's just simple carbs. Bananas, the same thing, simple carbs. We're going to cross over, carefully cross, and then we'll work back towards the main palette. Here we go, guys. Let's keep moving. We've got less than 1 minute left. So an absolutely incredible experience to be able to spend that time with him, to be able to run through the desert with him. I've received an invitation to come and do the Marathon des Sables. I don't know if I'm up for it. So it's incredibly challenging. It's something that at some point would be an incredible experience to do, but I gotta wait until the time is right. We got 15 more seconds to do. Nice and easy. All right, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Whew. That was great. 25 minutes of running, continuing on that trajectory that we've established with the goal of making it all the way to 30 minutes of running. So guys, we're going to start this cool down. Just allow those bodies to recover as much as possible, pumping out in a metabolic way through our veins as we move our muscles. It's incredibly important, guys, to make sure that you use all the resources that are at your disposal to recover as quickly as possible. So hydration, we've talked so much about this, food, carbohydrates, as well as protein. It doesn't have to be complicated, guys. Just a simple combination of those two within 35 to 45 minutes after we finish this run. That'll help your body refuel, repair those areas that you've broken down. We're going to go through this archway, guys. As we go through the archway, take a look at the arc. Again, we have that horseshoe-shaped arch, and then the mosaic. Remember, zilej. Zilej is the term in Arabic. That's where the word azulejo comes from in Portuguese, in reference to those specific tiles. So all of that used in combination with the arch, the horseshoes, meaning a good luck, keep people's judgmental or scornful eyes off of any establishment where that's put in place. So it's a protector of the people. After this fight, we're going to cross over and we're going to finish up in front of the royal gate. Guys, we'll be able to see there's 7 different doors. This was put in place in 1968 by the king, Assad II, the father of King Mohammed VI. Absolutely stunning. So the green puff, significant here in this part of the world. Again, it means peace, it means honesty. It represents the diverse vegetation, the nature in the area. The red, the freedom, which was wrought by blood, by the people, incredibly proud here in Morocco. Guys, we're going to come back. We're going to continue on this. Thank you so much for joining me here in the ancient city of Fez, in the country of Morocco. I'm your trainer, Tommy Rivs, and I'll see you soon.
more. Ah, fuck. Oh no, it's stuck. I don't know what I did. I maybe pressed too fast. I don't know, it's stuck. It's stuck. I have to restart it. I don't know what happened. Okay. Nope. It's just stuck. Okay. Okay. I don't have to go crazy over it. I have to do something after. Ah, come on. Right. I don't know, maybe I pressed too soon. It just got stuck. Oh, come on, fuck. Have to sign in all over again. Jesus Christ. Hats. 1 hat, 2 hat, 3 hat, 4 hat, 5 hats. If I say it's infuriating, it's understatement. It's understatement. Oh yeah, yeah, well. Okay, it counts like I did it. Okay. Whatever. What are you gonna do? I could have run outside. Okay. Incline 2.
Welcome back, guys. I'm your trainer, Tommy Rivs. We are here once again in the historic country of Morocco. We are now in the city, the Medina of Marrakesh. Today what we have is the last workout of week 5. We're going to start out with an easy 3-minute walk through the marketplace, and then we'll continue from there. Let's do it, guys. Nice and easy. We're just going to explore a little bit of this market. So like the last times I've seen you, we're in one of the most bustling areas in the entire world. This is one of the largest markets in Morocco, one of the largest markets in the entire continent of Africa. So So as we go through here, let's take in some of these sites. There's so much to see, guys. Just like before when we were in Fez, there's a large probability that we're going to get lost. That's a little bit of the fun that we have here. So this area, Marrakech, is known as the Red City. You can see this is a stark contrast to the blue city that we were in when we were in Chefchaouen. The red was built beginning in the 11th century, so the 1000s. Guys, this place is over 1,000 years old. Much of the area has remained the same throughout the entire time. It's incredibly busy. There's people here from all different areas of the world. So this serves as a marketplace for, as I mentioned, the entire continent of Africa. This is a gateway. Anciently, it was a gateway between the roads that pass through Europe, down from Africa to India. It was also a gateway for maritime travelers, trains that were coming from the Atlantic through the Mediterranean. To the south, were closed in by the Atlas mountain range. During the winter, this mountain range is completely covered in snow. There's peaks there up to 13,000 feet high. We're literally 50 miles from the largest peak in North Africa, almost 14,000 feet high. Guys, as we come through here, it's going to go about a minute more. Let's take in some of these sites. Then what we're going to do, guys, is go for 24 minutes. 5 minutes on, 1 minute recovery. We're going to do 5 minutes on, 1 minute recovery for 4 sets. So that's 5 minutes of running, 1 minute of walking, and then we'll cool down on our way out. Guys, let's just slow down real quick to try and get into some of these sites. We've got olive oil, and we've got these little desert oases right here. So cute, and heart rate goes the same way. This right here is literally a fun part. When you hear about this, it's literally their horses. You find python skin, you find skin with wild cats, you find monkeys with tail. Alright guys, we're going to go for another 15 seconds and then we'll start our first 5-minute easy jog. As we do this, just like before, we're going to try to be as courteous as we can, as respectful as we can, and ungrateful for guests. If somebody else is home, lots of different cultures and traditions, so they expect we want to try to respect them as much as possible. We're going to go, guys, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5 minutes of easy running. So as we work our way down the street, that's a pump pattern and a key program. So all incredibly rhythmic space. Down from the Atlas Mountains and made a home down here along the river that flows through Marrakech. So this was in the 11th century, the 1000s. This mosque was one of the first things that was built in the area. Marrakech is known as an imperial city. That means it's because it was a hub where the empires, the dynasties were based. So politically, culturally, economically, this is an area really important. Four different imperial cities throughout Morocco. This is one of the most important. Okay guys, we'll work our way towards this mosque. This mosque was built and rebuilt several times. The different dynasties would come in. So there were the Almoravids, and then there were the Almohads, and then most recently the Alawites. All of these different dynasties would come in, and multiple times the mosque was rebuilt because it was said that it wasn't facing the right direction. Remember, it's incredibly important within Islamic beliefs to face Mecca while praying 5 times a day. Alright guys, so taking a view of that mosque, again rebuilt multiple times. As each of the different dynasties would come in, it was important that they declared that they had the religious authority. So as they would do that, one of the ways that they would wipe clean the previous dynasty is to rebuild the mosque and say that it actually needed to be pointed in a little bit different direction to legitimize their claims of ruling that particular dynasty. Alright guys, so this right here, this isn't just for show. This is a way that people get around within the village. So remember, the Medina is housed within a large walled area. A lot of times cars aren't able to access the small streets, so people still use these carriages to get around. Guys, we're going to go for a little bit more than 1 more minute of running, and then we'll drop back down into 1 minute of walking. Alright, slowly working our way down. You guys can see the red and green Moroccan flags. Again, the red symbolizing the liberty that was bought with blood, and the green being a powerful symbol within Islam. The 5 stars, five-sided star, the 5 being an important number within Islam. All of this designed to remind people of that specific belief system. Alright guys, we're going to go for 15 more seconds and then we'll slow down to a walk, be able to take in some of these sites at a little bit slower pace. Remember, nice and easy. This is a foundation run, a recovery run. And 3, 2, 1, and relax. There we go guys. We'll continue down. So as I mentioned before, just to catch up a little bit on all the history, there's so much going on here, guys. It's almost overwhelming to try to explain everything that we see and to put it in proper context. It can't be done, but I'll do my very best to explain it. So we had the Imazajen, the Berber people that were the ethnic group that lived here historically, thousands and thousands of years of tradition. They lived in the Atlas Mountains. Then there were the Arabs. Arabs is another ethnic group. They came in from the Arabian Peninsula. And then you had all of the refugees that came down from the Iberian Peninsula. This was typically European. So you have a combination of all of this. We're going to go again, guys, in 3, 2, 1. Here we go. 5 more minutes, easy running. So you have a combination of all of this that came together in combination with people from all over the world because of the trade routes which were established. This is a process known as diaspora. So as a people spread, Alright guys, we got it right. Let's do it. Okay. 5 minutes. Alright guys, I'm gonna let you take the lead. We're taking some more of these sides. Whew. Here we go, nice and easy. Alright guys, just typically I might be down to race a guy like that, but on a recovery day, it's important to remember that recovery days are made to taking it easy. So some of the best distance runners in the world come from Morocco. There's a strong tradition, like I mentioned before, that combination of a lifestyle which is based on being physically fit, and then that competitive spirit which exists in this area. Okay, let's go nice and easy. We're going to work our way right. Okay, and then down this narrow street. So guys, just to rewind just a little bit about everything going on in this area. So people coming from all these different empires and bringing back their traditions, their cultures. Alright guys, we'll keep moving back towards this busy street. And then we're going to do our best to cross over this busy street and continue working our way down through the area. Alright. Here we go. Okay guys, we've got just over 2 minutes left. We're going to time this just right. And here we go. Woo! We made it guys, nobody got dead. Alright. Alright guys, so this is an area where people can come. The taxis are lined up. This is just outside that main part of the Medina. So when we leave that gate, you see that immediately we go from heavy foot traffic to taxis backed up, being able to bring people all over this city. Over 2 million people live in this area. It makes it one of the largest cities here in Morocco. Okay guys, so let's focus again just real quick on the training component of this. Just the subtle, gentle reminders. We're trying to keep the intensity light. We're moving easily, as relaxed as we can. We keep our arms, our shoulders, our face, everything relaxed from the top down. As you can see coming up in the distance, we've got another gate that we'll go through. So the word for gate in Arabic is bab, B-A-B. So anytime we see a gate, typically there will be a placard on the side, B-A-B, and then it'll have a name. A lot of the names in the area are based on some of the patron saints of this region. So people will make pilgrimages from throughout the entire region to this place to pay homage to these specific saints, which are revered within the religion. Alright. Guys, we're going to slow down in 3, 2, 1, back down to a walk. A lot of times Spanish artists were commissioned from the Andalusian area to come down and help create these mosques and these palaces. So we can see the combination of those architectural styles, the artistic designs, the different terracotta tiles on the roofs. In this area, typically they're painted green, or they're actually glazed green and then they're fired. Again, green being a powerful symbol within that Islamic belief system. Guys, check this out as we slow down. Look at these huge fossils. These fossils are found in the area. They're on display. They're for sale in the markets. Those are called trilobites. So it's this ancient shell that existed in ancient oceans Guys, we're gonna go in 3, 2, 1. As we start this next 5-minute interval, let's slow down and look at that stork nest. The stork nest up there on the top of that building put in place, the fortress around the mosque. That's 1,000 years old, guys. The remnants of that building. Any of these streets, guys? Guys, we're gonna turn left right here and continue back into the market. All right, nice and easy. Keep moving, guys. Here we go. All right, guys, we're just about a minute into that interval. We got 4 more minutes left. Nice and easy, guys. We'll work our way through this area. Once again, incredibly strong smells. Some of them are incredible. Some of them, you're lucky you're not taking them in. So this is one of the joys of being in an open market like this. You've got the combination of fumes from exhaust, all the different byproducts of the animals that work their way through here. We've got fresh fish for sale. We've got aromatic fruits and herbs. All of it is literally an assault of your senses. Lots of these different words that we find in Spanish as well as Portuguese come from Arabic. So one example is alfombra, which means carpet. All right. Okay, let's continue to work our way through here. We're going to pause that thought on linguistics. Hopefully we'll have a chance to get back to that. Guys, we got 2 more minutes. We're just going to continue working our way. We're actually working around the outside of the royal palace walls. So royal palaces are spread throughout the country. So when the king visits a different area, specifically a different imperial city, the family stays within the royal palace. So you can see the ramparts of the royal palace here, the ramparts of that protective wall on the outside. So guys, this is just an interesting side note. So ramparts, that word, the protective wall, the fortress wall that's on the outside of a building or a castle, this actually is rooted in 2 different Latin words. Ante meaning before, and parare, which means to repair, or which means to prepare. So when these words are brought together, it actually creates the French word from which the English word ramparts comes from. So it literally means to prepare beforehand so that if there's some type of invasion, some type of assault, that area is fortified. So within exercise physiology, this same concept is known as prehab. So prehabilitation rather than rehabilitation. So we prepare our bodies for the stresses that they're going to undergo before they take place, so that when that assault takes place, they're prepared for that. This entire program is based on that concept. That's why we're going easy as we work into this, because the design is to prepare our bodies beforehand the same way these ramparts are set up. Guys, check out those storks up on top. Those storks build their nests up on top of those ancient ramparts. So this program is designed with all of that in mind, preparing our bodies for the stresses that will come later. We've got 10 more seconds. We're going to turn right, enter back through into the city, and 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax. So we'll come through here, guys. We'll check out this gate. We'll make a loop, and then we'll continue on looking at the square. So you guys can see, once again, those big arches, the big round arches. These are Roman arches. The round Roman arches were designed in some areas. They're set up in mosques. This design is designed to remind people of the different palm trees, indicating an oasis within the desert. Guys, this giant tree that we have that's spreading out in front of us, that's actually a eucalyptus tree. So those eucalyptus trees are brought in from Australia. They're hundreds of years old. They've been set up in these areas because within this city, there were large areas that had more water than the people wanted or what was ideal for construction. So they set those up so that they could soak up some of those marshy spaces and then they could build. Guys, we're going to go again in 3, 2, 1, 5 more minutes, our last interval. Okay, so we'll work our way, guys, out of this square and then back in to the bowels, so the market. We're going to get right down in those deep areas, take in some more of the sights and sounds. I'll take in the smells for you. I'll do my best to relay that to you. Alright, 4.5 more minutes, nice and easy. All we're doing, guys, as we continue to build is setting up and preparing our bodies for the other stresses that will come. Alright, guys, so just over 4 minutes left. Here we go. Focus in again. Find the rhythm with your breathing and your feet. Keep those arms, legs relaxed. Guys, absolutely incredible to be in this place. So the combination, just ancient and modern. We've got orthodox and secular, the mixture of ancient ruins, the new construction, the belief systems. It's just literally a walking dichotomy, a walking contradiction. Here we go, check this out, guys. Alright, so these horses and donkeys are pulling these giant loads of cinder blocks as well as the driver on top. Alright guys, we're going back in. We got about 3 more minutes. Work our way slowly through here. Alright, we got a motorbike coming up right behind us. We'll get out of the way so we don't get run over. There we go. Guys, right after our last, check this out. We got a giant python skin. We've got a zebra rug. This feels so different being up here north. But remember, guys, we're on the continent of Africa. This area has been used for thousands of years as different trade routes have been established across the Sahara, through Marrakesh, and then up into the Mediterranean, throughout all of Europe. Let's keep moving, guys. We got 2 more minutes. Easy running. Guys, we made it all the way to the end of week 5. I want you to just take a second to think back. 5 weeks ago, at the very beginning of this. Think about some of the changes you've noticed. Changes you've noticed in strength as well as fitness. Some of the changes you may have noticed that have happened with your lifestyle. A lot of times when we engage in a program like this, something structured, we find it easier to incorporate changes in other areas of our life. So we might find that our diet is healthier, we get rid of all that recline crap. We might be used to eating, we find that we sleep better, we find that our mood improves. Think about those changes. If you're not able to identify these huge changes, guys, it's not too late. Everything is a slow transition. Every single day can be the starting point to make a change, to improve any component of our life. We got 30 more seconds, guys. Let's keep working our way through the market, and then we're going to slow down into our cool down. Alright, easy. 20 more seconds. Stay tall. Relax. Neutral spine. Gentle arms. Breathe easy. Relax your face. All of these constant reminders that they should be full of ease. Don't force it, just work through and trust this process. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Here we go, guys. Let's go back down into the gut, down into the bowels of this market. Just check out some of these types. So these pomegranates, remember when we were in Portugal, pomegranate, pomar, the word for Roman. These agricultural products are reminders of how far these empires have spread, combination of goods that are brought together, the dissemination of ideas, different foods. The foods that we find here in Morocco, that's a perfect way to see how far ideas have come from, this mixture of spices. Remember that one of the primary motives of the explorers that came from Iberia was to have access to the spice trade. But literally, guys, all of this comes down to people wanting their food to taste better and their bodies to smell better. At the end of the day, that's still something that we find motivates our societies. If you don't believe me, walk through an airport. An airport is a modern-day version of an ancient market. You go through that duty-free section, and what do you have? You have foods from different places, and you have cologne and perfumes. All of this, guys, is based in our senses. So the desire to have stuff taste good and smell good. The ironic thing about that, though, is a lot of times you can't have both at the same time. So the foods that we consume in markets like this, the smells can be incredibly offsetting, which is nice when we pass other areas that have different incense, different perfumes, all these spices, all this incredible aromatics that exist at the same time. All right, guys, let's go for one more minute. One more minute to end this final week, this final workout of week 5. Between now and the next time I see you, let's focus in. We're going to focus in again on one more week. Pushing forward and increasing our strength and our fitness. After that week is over, guys, that doesn't mean we're done. That means we've laid the groundwork. We've set up those ramparts. We've prepared beforehand so that we can continue to work. There's so many different programs, guys, that we can use to continue. All right, here we are, guys, working back into the main market. So just like always, the basic concept that we hit all the time, focusing on recovery, doing everything we can between now and the next time I see you, prepare your body, hydration, nutrition, carbs and protein, get as much sleep as possible, and we'll come back and we'll continue to build, guys. We'll continue to grind, trusting this process, Marrakesh, the red city in the country of Morocco on the continent of Africa. I'm your trainer, Tommy Rivs. This is the end of week 5. We're going to continue one more week in this program. Come back, guys. I promise it's going to be great. I'll see you soon.
Okay, now it works because I didn't rush. Okay, okay. So we did 5.25 mile, 5.25. Well, it's 26, but I don't put. Okay, it's good. It's good. It's not over yet. Okay, okay. Okay. Okay, very good. Almost done. Almost done. I have to clean the treadmill. I have to put it somewhere so I remember. I'm so sweaty and salty. Yay. I forgot it's 12. One more time. I was really debating to go outside for a run or here. At home it's easier. It's easier. You're already here and you can do the stretch after. Okay. Now I'm just gonna go do some stretch a little bit. It's really raise your heart rate so fast. The kettlebell. Oh, it does. It definitely does. Okay. Okay. So it's 12:35 afternoon. By the time I done my stretch, just before 1, I still have the whole day. It's a great day. It's a wonderful day.